So we are being hit for this summer with another micro trend. And listen, guys, I am so annoyed with all of these hot little trend items or like different types of core where it's like, okay, this very niche aesthetic is now like a style thing and we all have to do it for like the next 3-4 weeks. Like, give me like something good that's gonna last, but that is a video for another day. Today we're gonna be diving into what is quite possibly very controversial: cargo bags. Cargo bags for summer 2024. And today we're going to be ranking them, and I want this to be kind of interactive too. Like, I don't just want to sit here and tell you like, oh, these are Caleb Snell's like 5 best, 5 worst bags. No, down in my pinned comments, I have a little chart for you guys. All the bags are going to be numbered. So what I want you to do is copy and paste that chart into a new comment and then number each. Like, bag number 1 is in this category, bag number 2 is down here. Like, I want to know what all of you are thinking as far as this trend goes. But before we dive in and learn a little bit more about cargo bags, hey guys, my name's Caleb. I post luxury and lifestyle related content. When you ask, gosh, I love that about you. Stay curious every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. If that's something you're into, hit the subscribe button down below. Consider joining our membership for extra perks and access. We have an amazing members meetup, the second annual members meetup coming up later this year. I'm so freaking excited to hang out with everybody and do some shopping. But let's dive into these cargo bags, you guys, because this is a trend or a style aesthetic that I could see myself kind of getting into, but then also, is it worth the money? And why not just buy something pre-owned that fits that aesthetic? So when it comes to cargo bags, you're all probably thinking of that Y2K aesthetic that Marc Jacobs so iconically brought to the forefront of mainstream fashion. But this actually goes back a little bit further. This cargo aesthetic, which by cargo they're meaning like all these exterior pockets, we're talking about extra utilitarian kind of pieces, not necessarily like those multi-pochettes that Prada and LV gave us a few years ago, but we're leaning more towards like bigger totes, handheld bags, belt bags, things of like true good utility. And I do love my Marc Jacobs Blake Hobo. Like I was saying, this trend, everyone's gonna say that this is Y2K coded. It actually comes from the 80s. And back in the 80s, the military utility trend really kind of came to civilian fashion forefront. We're thinking like cargo pants, cargo shorts, which I personally love, but don't tell anyone. After this brewed for a little bit and became a little bit more mainstream, Miuccia Prada swept in and was like, hey, bet I can take this on and make it something fabulous. And we were gifted with that Prada nylon backpack that the house is so iconically known for. So of course it's going to be on this list in a little bit. And then I believe it was in the mid 2000s. I'm still in my Devil Wears Prada mode. When like Marc Jacobs, well, first of all, I think it was Hermes with the Kelly Lacus, which was a little bit more utilitarian. They added extra pockets to the front. They made it a little bit more androgynous, as up until then the Kelly had been more kind of like a feminine based handbag. So with the addition of the pockets, a little bit thicker straps, things like that. And then Marc Jacobs really kind of grabbed onto this aesthetic and made it a lot more mainstream with the advent of things like the Blake Hobo, the Venetia satchel, which I stupidly sold and would love to find in another color. Don't tell my husband. And then he also carried that over, because you have to think, at the time, Marc Jacobs was the creative director at LV. So we're seeing this trend in bags like with the Speedy, with the additional pocket there on the front. We also saw it in bags like the Manhattan and the Hudson and the Viva City line. Like, this trend, you guys, had a chokehold on both, mainstream and luxury fashion up until it kind of fell off in the mid 2010s. And now we're seeing this all come back. And there are some good versions and there are some awful versions. And we're going to dive into a lot of them today and put them on our chart. So to introduce you to the chart, we've got 5 categories. Top, number 1 being Vibe 100. I mean, hello, honestly, obviously, right? Then we have She's Giving. These are like the bags that are almost perfect. Like, they're good, like they're great, don't get me wrong, but they're missing a little something. Then we have She's Cute Enough, like whatever, fine, if we want to lean into this trend, this is something good to buy. Then we have This Cargo Ship Is Sinking. Like, it's not quite cute, but it's not like the worst we've seen. And then we have Safe Space, Don't Hate Me. Like, these are going to be the bags that I really do not like. You don't like because you're doing this chart along with me. Like, safe space. Like, don't hate us. We're entitled to our opinions, whatever. We can say what we want around here, right? As long as it's respectful. So let's dive in with bag number 1. And we're going to kick this off. Like, this is a trend that is going from both, the contemporary houses up to the luxury houses. And we're going to kick it off with Coach. They have 2 bags that I think fit really well into this category. Now, first up from Coach, and what I think was quite possibly the perfect bag from that house for this category, is the Cargo Soft Tabby. I am so mad. Like, I wanted this bag so bad. I think it retailed for like $4.95. I just wasn't like in like a buying mood when it came out, and I'm thinking like, oh, it's a Coach bag. Like, we're gonna see it all season, maybe into summer. Boom, gone like that same weekend. And I have yet to really see anyone talk about it here on YouTube, over on Instagram, over on TikTok. It's like they made like 20 and they sold out. However, I have hope, maybe false hope, but I have hope because one of the content creators that I follow from Malaysia who works for Coach, he recently started resharing the Cargo Tabby. Now this bag, you guys, it is 100% a vibe. Nope. Is this going to be vibe 100? Okay, well, let me think about it. But this bag, you guys, it is a vibe. I love that utilitarian. It looks like rough to me. Like it's giving like 90s grunge aesthetic. I could see this bag, you know, maybe a little bit worn out, blown out corners, extra bag charms, like that whole messy bag aesthetic that is also a micro trend, which I will not be jumping onto that bandwagon. Probably. But I do love this bag a lot. Now, the fact that it's currently sold out in the USA, we're going to knock it down from Vibe 100. She's giving. She's giving. She's really good, but she's not quite top tier material. Now, bag number 2 from the House of Coach, which has not been released yet, unless you can get it pre-ordered over on Amazon. Link will be down in the description. I can see a lot of you going crazy for this. This is the Quilted Tabby Backpack. Yes, you heard it here first, folks. Probably. Coach is dropping the Quilted Tabby Backpack. It is currently out in Malaysia, which I know from this content creator. I'll link them down below because it looks like Malaysia and Japan get things before we do here in the States, believe it or not. But this bag, you guys, I could see it being really popular. You've got that cargo aesthetic with the extra pockets on the front. You have that beautiful, almost Chanel-esque chain, which runs through the top of the bag, which could be the straps or the crossbody strap. You have that big chunky C buckle on the front. So it's giving like that utilitarian, but it's also that quilted tabby. For me, though, I'm going to say she's cute enough. You're like, Caleb, why? Like, this is going to be one of the hottest bags of the summer. It's not really my jam. Like, I'm not a big... Like, I like backpacks, but like I've never been like, you know, like, oh, I need to buy a backpack, you know what I mean? And with the quilting, it works on the tabby, like the regular long tabby, but for a bag this size, I could see there being like a lot of wrinkles, especially with the weight of that C buckle being up at the top. Like, it's just gonna, I don't know how it's gonna age, especially with the roughness of the chain. She's cute enough. Like, we're gonna give her like middle of the lane. She's not bad, she's not amazing. I think she's gonna be priced at $4.95 USD here in the States. Come in a variety of colors, like 2 or 3 maybe, but she's fine. Like, we're good. We're good. She's cute enough. All right, next up, let's switch things up a little bit. Let's talk about a Parisian fashion house, the house of Balenciaga, if you will. I used to be a huge Balenciaga fan, but they're not really my aesthetic anymore. But the cargo bag, this is something that they're doing really well, and in my opinion, not so great. First up, we have the Super Busy XS Sling Bag. And you guys, with this aesthetic and this size, this is perfection. It is good. Well, it's not Vibe 100, because it's Balenciaga, but it is nearly perfection in both its details, the use of that beautiful squishy moto leather, which we all know and love. And this one, I like the amount of pockets. You have pockets around the sides and front, which is very similar to the Y2K era of this trend. You also have them up on the strap, which is giving like 2019 multi-pochette from LV. I like it overall. There's only one left right now over at Saks Fifth Avenue, and it comes in 2 colors. It looks like white and black. I think the white could look super cool just because once it's a little beat up and grungy, that's going to be a vibe. It has a cute little AirPod pocket on the front, tons of pockets. It looks like there's even a pencil pouch on the front, spot for your phone, spot for snacks. This is a good bag, you guys. So we're going to give this one, she's giving. I think she's giving. Is Balenciaga a smart house to spend 2K on right now? I don't know if we're there yet, but overall, this aesthetic, this is, she's doing good. Like, I really like this. Now, conversely, from the same house, Balenciaga, we have the larger version, and this is the Super Busy large sling bag. This comes in 3 colors, it looks like. We've got a gray, a black, and then maybe a bronze? Like a graphite almost. Now, this version, I don't love as much. Size-wise, it looks a little ludicrous, and with all these pockets on the front, like, I mean, hello, it's a trend, don't get me wrong, but they leaned into it a little too heavy with the large version. This one is also priced very high for this trend. It's almost $3,000. Again, you have the Arena lambskin, which is nice, but I just don't know that Arena lambskin can maintain its shape with all of those pockets, especially there on the front. The size is a little big. Like, with all those pockets, do you really need the interior of the bag to be that big? We're gonna mark this one low, which... we just have to do it. This cargo ship is sinking, quite literally, because it is too heavy. This bag is, it's too much in my opinion. Too much in price, too many pockets, too much capacity on the interior. It is, unless you're working like in the fashion industry and you need like your camera in there, like your makeup brushes, like this could be a good utilitarian bag that's also very fashion forward for that. But like for the rest of us who are just going to and from the office, maybe the gym, maybe out to dinner, like this bag is a little ridiculous. I said what I said, save space. All right, you guys, we recently dove deep into the House of Miu Miu and its history and how it's become so hot again. So of course we have to talk about Miu Miu today. And this, guys, is probably one of my favorite bags on this list. This is the Napa leather pocket bag. Now, well, listen, when it comes to this trend, Miuccia Prada is the mother of luxury utility. We have the different reissues. We have those multi-pochette bags that they've been so famous for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And don't forget, she started this trend with the humble backpack in that nylon. It was groundbreaking. It was a challenge at the time. The House of Miu Miu does this trend very well. Now listen guys, they were there at the forefront during Y2K fashion. They were coming into their own. And this pocket bag, especially in that citron yellow color, is, I'm gonna say it, it's Vibe 100. Now this bag, you guys, they did such a good job designing it. You have all those pockets around the side, front, and back, a la Marc Jacobs. It's leather lined. You have minimal branding with just that Miu Miu debossed into the front. Guys, it is Vibe 100. Now, price-wise, she's $3,300, but with Miu Miu really coming into prominence, really being able to stand on their own as far as these prices go, as of recently, will this trend continue? We don't know. I think this bag is, I'm gonna say it, it's Vibe 100. It's our first one up at the top, and they did amazing. And this citron yellow with gold hardware, just take my card, please. Take my money. All right, and this wouldn't be a cargo list without including one of the most current iconic cargo bags. If you guessed the Hermes Cargo Birkin, you are 100% correct. Listen, guys, I know this is almost sacrilege to just slop pockets on the front of a Birkin, but in my opinion, they did this impeccably well. I mean, it's the House of Hermes after all. Would we expect anything less? So for the two different sizes, the size 35 is probably my favorite. I love that it has that little foam pocket there on the front. You have the big flat pocket on the front as well. On the back, you have an extra additional flat pocket as well, which could also fit your phone if you don't want to like have it hanging out the front, which, believe it or not, a lot of phones get stolen here in Chicago. So that's a thing, I guess. I don't really know what you do with them after you steal them, but what also makes the Cargo Birkin work is the material. Now, they were so smart to do this beautiful rugged canvas lined in leather. You also have that additional leather support up the sides with the additional leather strip. You have the leather corners. It is just, they did impeccably well with this one. Now, like I said, the 35 is probably my favorite, but the most popular and better investment is probably the 25 centimeter. We've seen this on a ton of celebrities. I'm gonna say it. You all know, like, I can already see your eyes rolling into the back of your head, like, oh, Caleb's gonna put this at the top. You're 100% right, and I love that about you. You know me so well. This is Vibe 100, and I have yet to see a Cargo Birkin colorway that I did not like, and that is including the orange. I said what I said. Safe space. So, yeah, Vibe 100. Now, honorable mention, and I'm not actually going to put it on the list, but I think that Hermes did a really good job with the Asan. It's leaning into that utilitarian kind of realm without being cargo, so we can't really include it today. I just wanted to say Asan. I think it's a fun word to say, but I do love that bag. All right, guys, let's switch things up a little bit. Let's head back to Miuccia Prada over at the House of Prada, and let's talk about this nylon backpack. Now, listen, they recently reeditioned the 1978 version. She's cute. She's a vibe. Currently priced at $2,200, which, if you haven't been paying attention, is not a bad deal for a designer handbag of this era. This one, I like it. I do. It's giving everything it needs to give, but it's not exciting me per se. Like, I feel like we've seen the Prada backpack for a very long time, even though it was kind of at the forefront of this military utility aesthetic in the late 70s into the 80s. I just don't know that it's really doing much for me, so we're gonna call her cute enough. It's a good price. It's a good backpack if you just need something to throw your laptop in and head over to the coffee house, or if you're going, you know, running after the kids. Those extra pockets are going to come in handy for like the snacks, wipes, things like that. It's also nylon, which means it's easily cleanable. You can just send it off to your cleaner. I just don't know. For me, it's like, it's not doing much. So she's cute enough. We'll put her on the list. We have to. Hello, it's Prada. Okay, guys, now this next one, when I was researching this trend and coming up with bags to share with you guys and kind of rank and whatnot, I thought to myself, you know what? Marc Jacobs is going to be the house that's going to do it right. You know, he gave us all those amazing made in Italy bags at the mid 2000s. I mean, they even got a segment in The Devil Wears Prada. Hello. I have one. They're iconic. He gave them to us over at the House of LV. A lot of really good bags. So I'm like, this is going to be one house that's going to do it right. If I could insert that TikTok sound of the sad kazoos, this would be appropriate here because I hate this bag. So this is literally called the leather cargo bag, currently priced at $395. So it's probably one of the better offerings on this list. But you guys, it is just not it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and this is a safe space, but I'm very tired of the Marc Jacobs brand just like stamping words on the front of a bag and then trying to make it an icon. It worked with the tote bag. We were all kind of here for that. I almost bought one. I am guilty of that. I saw one at Bloomies and I'm like, oh, that's cute. I could get into that. I didn't, but I could. And then we saw it with the sack bag and then the bucket bag. I'm like, can this house do anything other than just stamping words of the name of the bag on the front of a bag? Apparently not in this instance. So what could have been absolutely amazing and a good opportunity for Marc Jacobs to kind of throw back and maybe, you know, unlike the Stam re-release, maybe the Blake. I mean, that, in my opinion, was a little bit more iconic than the Stam. Stam was very heavy into that twee era aesthetic, the whole Tumblr, you know, kind of Zooey Deschanel era. This was like iconically top of the line, beautiful Marc Jacobs. We could have seen that again. Like, we could have had a re-release of the Venetia or the Blake or quite literally any other bag, but instead we get this. Cue the sad kazoos, because this is going into the safe space, don't hate me, bottom category. I hate this bag. I said what I said. Please don't come for me in the comments. Now, speaking of Marc Jacobs, this list would be remiss, say that 5 times fast, if we didn't touch on the re-release of the Viva City over at Louis Vuitton. The Viva collection, the city bags, if you will, were just iconic for their time. We had the Multiplicity, which was probably quite frankly my favorite. We had so many versions of these bags during the Marc Jacobs era. Now LV has only given us the Viva City, which she's cute, but if I see another $2,000-$3,000 handbag with a canvas web guitar strap attached to it, I am going to rip my hair out. So I will be bald by the end of the next season because we keep seeing it. It's like 2018 over and over and over again. So for that reason, I'm going to knock her down to she's cute enough. In my opinion, she should have been up at the top of the list because you have several things here. You have an iconic re-release. You have LV monogram, which everyone knows and loves and goes crazy for. But that stupid canvas web strap, I'm sorry, I know they're comfortable. I have bags with them. I can appreciate them, but I'm tired of seeing them. Like, let's pivot. Let's do something else. Like, give me a nice thick Vachetta strap. I mean, LV is even doing treated Vachetta now at this point. So just do that. Like, I am so tired of these canvas web straps. They look dirty, they pill, not cute, not a vibe, and especially not for $2,000. So she's cute enough. As I'm maturing, as I'm growing, as I'm moving along my luxury journey, I'm kind of starting to appreciate the more offbeat brands that not everyone is talking about, like your LVs, your Kering, your LVMH brands. One of those that kind of caught my attention is Acne Studios. Now listen, they recently released the multi-pocket bag, I think about a year ago, and this brand is so iconically on trend for this. I love it. It's giving us that military masculine hard edge, but it has the softness of those leather bows on the front, and it's kind of giving, think of like early 2000s Balenciaga with like the moto bags. I think this bag is going to look so freaking cool, worn out, scratched up, beat up, losing its shape, and it's just going to get better with time. And I kind of love that little like heart earring on the side of the bag. It's giving it that extra edge, that oomph, if you will. We have the pockets on the front and sides. It looks like it's just going to be shoulder or handheld, which is kind of a bummer, but I love how they just like stamped Acne Studios in the top. This bag is also really well priced at $16.50. Listen, it is 2024 after all. Hopefully Acne Studios is going to give us better quality than what we can find at some of the other houses we've talked about recently. But I'm going to give this bag, she's giving. She's giving. Now, is it going to be everyone's aesthetic? No, probably not. It's a little bit more grungy, if you will, compared to a lot of the bags we've talked about today. Does Acne Studios, do they have that resale brand identity? I don't really know because I don't really know the brand well enough to speak to that. So we're going to give she's giving. She's not quite Vibe 100 because the ruching and the bows, like not 100% my vibe, but like that kind of like grungy look, I'm kind of here for. So she's giving. She's giving. We're going to give her that. She's solid. All right, now let's talk about Fendi. Like, what's Fendi doing? What's she up to? What's going on over there? Well, I can tell you the multi-pocket baguette is going to be at the top of this list. Vibe 100. I loved this bag when it first came out, and I especially loved it when they did that like black nylon, what was it, last winter maybe? Now this bag, you know, she's fabulous, she's everything. I'm loving all of those crazy pockets on the front, and I don't even hate that they all have the double F buckle. Like, okay, we're here for it. Now this one is done in the brown FF jacquard fabric, so she's going to be a little bit more hard wearing than say like maybe a leather would be. I don't know, like I am 100% here for it. Now I'm not here for the price, $4,300, that is a little ridiculous, so maybe find this on the secondhand market because something like this avant-garde and strange is not going to hold its resale value for those that don't like worship the House of Fendi and like collect it like there's no tomorrow. So resaleability, maybe not there for like the mainstream public. However, this bag is absolutely fabulous. They make a maxi version for the men. I think both sizes look great on everybody. If you're asking me, this bag is a Vibe 100. So we're going to put her at the top of the list. All right, guys, let's also stick to Fendi. Now, this bag is the Fendi Strike Medium Backpack. I am a low-key here for it. So we're falling into that cargo aesthetic with the extra pockets there on the front. I'm loving that whip stitch detail across the top of the pockets, which really speaks to the house's iconic Selleria collection. I own 2 peekaboos like that. I'm just saying. It's kind of fun. This one, I think it's going to work on both men and women. You got that drawstring with that little hey flap across the top. There's extra pockets in the back. It looks like the back is padded and it looks comfy. She's $35.90 for a backpack. Like, let's be serious. So, she's cute enough. Like, would I run out and buy one? Probably not, but I can appreciate it. Like, I see it. Like, I see you, Fendi. I'm here for it. She's cute enough. All right, let's talk about the House of Versace. Versace. Now, this is just named the Cargo Large Tote Bag. Thematic. It's fitting with today's theme. And this one's priced at $26.50, which for Versace, would I? No, probably not. Now, this one, I want to love it. I really do. I don't want to be that guy. Guy who hates the Versace bag. It's a very niche problem to have. Now, this one, I think it's from the men's collection, and I think we're going to fall into that same issue with that Balenciaga large super busy. A lot of pockets on the front and the side. Do we need all that capacity in the center? Probably not. I do like that there's a spot for sunglasses, there's a spot for this, there's a spot for that. I'm currently looking at that top left pocket and I could see that being annoying with the way that the strap kind of drapes down. The front, if that's like a harder leather, that's going to be an annoying pocket to get in and out of. It's bland, it's boring, it's too expensive. Safe space, don't hate me. I don't really love this bag. All right, let's round this list out with quite possibly one of the better offerings. And this is from the House of Todd's. Listen, guys, I am falling in love with Todd. I'm leaving Zane for Todd. I'm just kidding. Todd's the brand. And I recently fell in love with that pillow dye bag. Like, oh my gosh, Caleb Snell handbag to a T. Someone give me $3,000 so I can justify buying it while I'm on my Chanel Hermes 2024 journeys. I will be buying something from the House of Todd's here shortly. Hopefully, I hope. Knock on walnut. But this bag, you guys, is the utility belt in leather. Again, we love it when they don't come up with crazy names. But this bag, you guys, it is good. We're leaning into that bum bag aesthetic that was so big and had such a chokehold for way too long. I was not a bum bag fan. This bag, you guys, it is everything. It is a good belt bag, and it doesn't have like an actual interior capacity, which it was kind of my gripe for some of these bags. Like, we have all these pockets on the outside. What the heck am I possibly putting on the inside aside from like my iPad, my MacBook? Like, what am I putting in there once I have all this organization? So this one, yeah, I think you have like 2 little flat button pockets on the front. You have that really cool dog leash clip, which is like giving Hermes Asan energy, which you all know I am like head over heels in love with. I also need money for that too. There's a lot of bags I want in 2024. This could be one of them. And then there's also a big zipper pocket off to the side. So you can like slip your phone in, your card holder, your cash, and you're good to go. This is going to be good for traveling, you guys. It's going to be on the body. You're going to be able to keep tabs on all those pockets. You can clip your gloves to the front. Oh my gosh, could you imagine gardening in this? Like, clip your garden gloves to the front, really use it for that utility purpose. I love using luxury for like everyday things. Like, that is peak ultimate luxury to me. And best of all, this is one of the better priced offerings. You're going to lean into that quiet luxury aesthetic, that minimalist aesthetic. You're going to be touching on the cargo aesthetic, the bum bag aesthetic. Like, there are so many trends wrapped up in this bag. It's priced at only $10.45. Comes in 3 colors. It comes in that beautiful burgundy red, which you all know I said was the color of 2024. Were you listening? I hope you were. Black, what they call beige. It's giving me more like military green, but what do I know? I don't work at Todd's. Call me though. Email down in the description. I love this bag. It's priced at $10.45. Have I said that yet? Like, it is a really good deal. Just classic luxury. It's perfection. So Vibe 100. We're going to end it with this one because you don't get better than this. What did you guys think? Have you been keeping up down below? Like, make sure you copy and paste what I have down in the pinned comment. I'll have all the bags listed by number as well. So you can just be like bag number 1, bag number 2, like, let's make this interactive. Like, let's have some fun. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Let me know down in the comments. Until next time though, stay safe, have fun. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.